Nice, nobody's out there now. There was one traffic he called earlier, but I couldn't see the guy. And it looks like we're...
doing about 73 knots.
Okay, let's talk a little bit more about instrument stuff while you're holding that Deer Park Direct. Okay. What is the weather requirement for an alternate airport? When do we need an alternate airport? You're flying IFR, your instrument flight plan, instrument flight rules, right. Aircraft is certified, your instrument rated, okay?
Yes.
You file for an IFR flight permit, C-stamped into Republic. What kind of weather report do you have to have in Republic so you don't need to have an alternate airport?
A TAP report? Terminal area report?
Yeah, absolutely. What kind of weather you need to have in Republic?
Weather has to be above minimums. Right?
So the minimums for Republic is 3/4 of a mile visibility on the Alice approach. Let's assume. It's all assumption. As long as you have 3/4 of a mile, you don't need an alternate?
That's a good question, because I remember seeing that on the study guide too.
Absolutely. That's in your written exam.
Right.
And it's actually going to be a question on your check ride. So you got to know that. Basically, it's the 1, 2, 3 rule. I like it, 1, 2, 3 rule, because it's easy to remember.
Right.
Oh yeah, sure. You know, you crawl, then you walk, and then you run. 1, 2, 3, same thing. 1, 2, 3 rule says that 1 hour before your arrival time to 1 hour after your arrival time, you gotta have at least 2,000 foot ceiling and at least 3 statute mile visibility. So you don't need an alternate. Okay? So you're looking at a terminal, your Republic doesn't have a terminal error forecast, but you know, ISLIP and Kennedy does. You look at either one of those because it's pretty close to Republic. And it's gonna tell you that from 0, 200 Zulu until 0, 600 Zulu, it's going to be 10-mile visibility and 3,000 foot broken.
That's a VFR.
Do you need an alternate airport?
No.
Very good, excellent. What if it says that the visibility is 10 miles, but the ceiling is 1,500 broken? Do you need an alternate?
No.
1,500 broken, you don't need an alternate.
That's like,
Let's go back to the 1, 2, 3 rule. 1, 2, 3 rule. 1 hour before, 1 hour after, 2,000 foot ceiling, and 3 statute mile visibility.
Right.
So do we need an alternate?
Yes, we need an alternate.
Yeah, because it's below the 2,000, right?
Yeah.
When I fly instrument, I always file an alternate airport. It's just safer.
Yeah.
It's just safer. You got plenty of fuel till you get to your destination, and you have sufficient fuel to go to your alternate, and you have another 45 minutes.
Right.
That means you have more than plenty of fuel to get to your destination. And it's never going to hurt to have extra fuel. Unless you're on fire. If you catch fire on the plane, that's where you don't want to have too much fuel. Other than fire, the more fuel you have, the better.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about a visual approach.
Okay.
On an instrument flight plan.
A visual approach.
What do we need to have What do we need to have before we can do, looks like we're departing, Gabreski. Let me talk to him. We'll do some flight following back. You cool with that? Okay, cool. Gabreski, good evening. 757 Alpha Delta is departing class Delta to the west. Would you like to make a frame exchange?
Roger, frame exchange approved. Good night.
Frame exchange approved. Thanks a lot. Good night. New York approach, good evening, Cessna 757 Alpha Delta is about 10 miles to the east of Long Island. Would like to transition class Charlie 1500 eastbound, westbound, destination Republic. It could be 2597 because we're so far east. Good evening, New York approach, Cessna 757 Alpha Delta with request.
757 Alpha Delta, your approach, you need that?
757 Alpha Delta, 1500, 10 miles to the east. Would like to transition class Charlie, heading westbound, destination Republic. Very hard to read this.
4367.
Wow, you got good ears. Squawking 4367, 757 Alpha Delta. You actually heard 4367 pretty clear, or was pretty kind of...
It was hard to hear it.
Yeah, it was pretty hard to hear, yeah. You're doing a beautiful job holding that direct to Deer Park. This is, when you hold direct Deer Park...
7 Alpha Delta, radar contact, ISO about 3008.
3008, 757 Alpha Delta, thank you. You're doing a wonderful job holding that direct to Deer Park. Now, I've seen people mistake.
Keep turning until
Keep turning it, okay? You don't want that. When this is centered initially... I heard 3004 something.
Yeah, he didn't talk to us though.
I don't know if that radio's working. It's like, I don't know, maybe it's too far. Maybe we'll get a little closer to islip. It's gonna clear up. I've seen people, that's a common error to keep on twisting this, because if you keep on twisting this, you're not going direct. You're kind of going in an arch.
Right.
Because of the wind, you keep on twisting. So whatever you set, which is 275, 20 miles ago, you want to keep, and then constantly... I could barely hear what he said. Did you understand what he said? Yeah, it was hard to understand.
I came in full blast static. Is it because we're kind of low? You think we're too low to hear that?
It's possible that it's the altitude, yeah. But I don't want to go up to 25 because it's going to be so much more headwinds up there.
Right.
I prefer 1500. If they clear us through Charlie at 15, I prefer to stay at 15.
Yeah.
Anyway, so if it's 275, you stay on at needle center like what you do, which is a beautiful job, you're going to go direct to Deer Park. But if it's twisting to the left, then you're going to keep... It's kind of hard to read what he said. But if you keep on twisting, you're going to end up going in an arch, like left or right. You're gonna, no, you don't want that.
I don't know if he was talking to us.
Could be talking to someone else. Could be a dirty antenna, could be something wrong with the wiring and the avionics, could be so many different things.
I had to guess, I think it just was our altitude, that's all.
Just low? You think we're just low? Yeah, possible. Yeah, possible. Just too far from that New York sector, yep.
This airplane's amazing. I like this airplane.
Yeah, it's a really good airplane. I really like it. That's my favorite.
What's up, max range?
152 on the field. What?
What's max range on this full fuel?
It's not that great. It's not that great. They have the 152 with the extended range. I think it's about 38 gallons usable. This one has 24.
I won't be able to do the long cross country on this.
You're talking about the long cross country for your instrument?
Yeah.
Okay, the long cross country for the instrument, you need to do 250 nautical miles, minimum 3 landings, and 3 separate instrument approaches. 3 different instrument approaches. That means you're going from here to Albany. You're going to do a VR approach in Albany. Then you're going over to Islip. You're going to do an ILS approach in Islip. Then you're going to go to Republic. Do a localizer approach. So we did a VR approach in Albany, ILS in Islip, localizer in Republic. We're good. We did 3 different approaches. That's it. That'll get you 250 miles and 3 different approaches. It's about 2.5 to 3 hours. So, you may... was that for 757 Alpha Delta? We couldn't hear you. I don't like this. Let's try the other guy. Sorry about that. Let's see, active.
Oh, you put the flaps down by accident?
Yeah, let's see, active. That's why it's nice to have a portable radio. Starts acting up like that. I can't get the button on COM 2 to go into radio mode. It's still like giving me direct to. Let's try this one. And then New York approach, Cessna 757 Alpha Delta. It's not operating. And then New York approach, Cessna 757 Alpha Delta. This radio. I don't know. I don't know. Can you hear what he said?
No, it's very staticky.
Okay, tell you what, there's a courtesy. I'm going to be on the safe side. I'm going to be on the safe side because I think he's trying to reach us. Let's contact the tower. Long Island Tower, Cessna 757 Alpha Delta.
Number 757 Alpha Delta line, Clinton Tower.
Oh, yes, sir. Good evening. We're trying to get a hold of 2597 New York approach, and we got clearance initially to go through Charlie 1500, but somehow we're losing him on the frequency. You have a different frequency, or maybe we can stay with the tower transitioning to Republic?
Where are you?
Currently 6 miles to the east of Long Island.
Yeah, about 120.05, sir.
Okay, let's go 2505. Thank you, sir.
Negative 120.05.
Okay, copy that. 120.05. Thank you, sir.
600 Southwest 1104. Cessna 7 Alpha Delta, New York.
There you go, 757 Alpha Delta 12005. We were just talking to the Long Island Tower, and he told us to contact you. It's 120405.
Thank you. Turn left heading 220.
Left turn heading 230, 1,500, 757 Alpha Delta.
And 73 coming in behind you has got to land isolate, so I'm just going to take you away from the final, then I'll be on course.
After that, southwest in sight, 757 Alpha Delta.
Southwest 1104, turn left heading 270.
Okay, I got southwest 73, so let's go southwest here, 230. Yeah, that's why you want to, when you get transition through Charlie, you want to make sure you constantly talk to someone, because
you can
have a lot of traffic here, it's busy.
And 900 miles, you having to think?
Inside, southwest 1104.
1104, traffic will be no factor, you turn in southbound. Clear visual approach runway 24, contact the tower 119.3.
Runway clear to visual 24, tower south 1104.
EC 4986, New York's on 120.8, we'll see ya.
We're going to transition on this heading, and then either transition from Captree or some we'll go over to Republic. That southwest is going to go overhead and then land on 24.
Okay. Gonna fly over us?
Yep, it's going to run on top of us, yep. But, he's probably doing 250. Yeah, these guys coming pretty fast. I had one over in St. Louis. We were on a jungle jet on a 145 in Southwest, and it's parallel runways.
You could do a side step, right?
Yeah, you can do a side step, but I think it was 30 left and 30 right.
7 Alpha Delta, proceed overhead ICP airport, then on course.
Proceed Islip Airport and then on course, 757 Alpha Delta. Okay, let's go.
Community please 1500.
We're holding 1,500. You want us to do something different?
Well, I'm showing you 1,200 right now, ultimate 3007.
Okay, 007. Yeah, well, I guess, yeah, we're a little bit off here. Thank you, sir. Let's get up a little higher. I don't think we're off, because the traffic return altitude on my TCAS is 1,300. And he said 3007?
Yeah.
Which is about exactly 200 feet difference. So technically your pressure altitude now is 2992, which is what the encoder is reporting. So the encoder is going for 1,400, and this is what we are. So I don't think.
And 757 Alpha Delta, just confirm, so proceed overhead ICP airport, then on course.
Overhead Islip and then on course, 757 Alpha Delta. I get that wind drift. Got a little distracted here. Wow, look at that wind drift.
Yeah.
Okay, there's your 7-3 right there on final. He's slowing down, no factor.
Roger.
Okay, there you go. We're right on top of the airport. Let's go ahead and go back to westbound, 270. I guess he wanted us right on top of the field. Anyway, back to the story. So that Southwest guy was so high, and, he was clear for the visual approach, and we were supposed to follow him to the runway.
Right.
And he was too high, and he was like, it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Anyway, we can make a 360 here. Like, they were like so high and hot. So, we were supposed to follow him, and he was all over the place. So I talked to the tower. I said, any chance we can get the right side? Because he was going for the left side. So we were going to the right side, and he was doing some circles, and we were rapidly moving. We we passed him, and we actually were behind him initially on the visual approach to the same runway, but we took a separate, different runway, and we landed on 30 right. He was on the left side, and we landed before the Southwest guy landed. So there was an American airline guy on the approach end, you know, basically on the approach end, departing, but waiting for this, circus. Let's go back left, heading 240. The wind's kind of pushing us.
All right.
So there was an American airline guy sitting on the approach end.
Whiskey Bravo, you can approach altimeter 3007, cross Guinea 1000.
Sitting on the approach end and watching the whole thing as the Southwest is circling, trying to, drop altitude, and we were just like coming in like a freaking bullet in front of him and landing. And the American Airlines guy, there you go, Waterski, good job. Oh man, that was fun. Because we managed to go, we were behind him and we landed in front of him. That was a nice,
Did you like the jungle jet?
Yeah, it was a cool airplane. The ones we had no thrust reversers. I think it was unsafe, but it was a cool, cool jet.
Especially,
jungle jet.
especially LaGuardia arrivals, short runways.
Oh yeah, you gotta watch out. On these ones that had no reversers, you better watch out. If it's a wet runway, a little bit of ice and stuff, oh man, it's dangerous. Very unsafe. Like going into Burlington with no reversers, imagine that. Burlington, Vermont, Syracuse Hancock International, Rochester. Where else was pretty tricky? Short runways. Because you see, on the jet, the anti-ski doesn't work unless you have tire rotation. When the tire spins, so the brakes are locked. And then when there's a first indication of a tire spin, the anti-skid kinda, the brakes, everything, the anti-skid, the whole braking system is dependent on wheel speed. And if it doesn't have wheel speed, it's malfunctioning, it's not working.
Right.
So you may be on the runway, hydroplaning, and then the airplane is skidding, like the wheels are stopped, and it's just like water ski, like you're going on skis.
Right.
With no tire speed, and if you don't have tire speed, the brakes don't work, so you can just keep on.
Whiskey Bravo, to the left about climb.
Back to 250 now on the heading, is good. 250.
7 Alpha Delta, proceed on course, walk to 100 for shit appropriate night.
Okay, proceed on course, squad 1200, good Republic, 757 Alpha Delta. Alright, we're gonna go Republic. I'm gonna give you another simulated approach, which is radar vectors for radar approach. There you go, 1200. 757 Alpha Delta, turn right heading 300. This will be radar approach to runway 19 in Republic.
Alright, turning right heading 300, expecting runway 19, 757 Alpha Delta.
For the wind, 757 Alpha Delta, left turn heading 270.
Left turn heading 270, 57 Alpha Delta.
So much different coming back, huh? A lot of headwinds.
A lot of headwinds.
That was so fast. I was, doing like one simulated intercept, and then I'm like, damn, we're right on top of East Hampton.
So where do you go from Florida all the time? You take your plane back and forth to Florida?
My house.
Oh, you live in Florida too?
Yeah, have a house in Florida, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I have a small airstrip right in the back of the house. 2,000 foot grass strip.
Oh, okay, I thought that was Pennsylvania.
No, it's in Florida. Yeah. 757 Alpha Delta, turn left at heading of 260, radar vector approach, runway 19.
260, radar vector approach for runway 19. 57 Alpha Delta.
Altimeter 3011. Visual approach in use land, departing runway 19er. IFR departures, advise ground control for taxi at your IFR, read back all runway, hold short instructions, read back all runway assignments, advise public town, initial contact, give information, Tango.
Tango! Tango, Tango!
Public airport information, Tango 0053 Zulu, weather observation, wind 21016, visibility 10, clear below 12,000, temperature 09er, dew point 03, altimeter 3011, visual approach in use land, departing runway 19er. IFR departures, advise ground control for taxi at your IFR, read back all runway, hold short instructions, read back all runway assignments, advise public town, initial contact, give information, Tango.
Tango.
Okay, still wind from the south, using 19 Tango. Tango, Tango, Tango.
We are to the east of the station.
We're pretty much good, 250, that's a good heading for the approach. I think we talked about a visual approach.
Yeah.
What's the minimum visibility on an instrument flight plan? Instrument certified aircraft, instrument rated airplane, going for a visual approach. Minimum visibility.
Does a 1, 2, 3 apply, or is it 3 mile visibility?
No, 1, 2, 3 on that. There's basically statute mile visibility.
3 miles?
Yep, you need to have 3 mile visibility. What else you need for a visual approach?
You need 2,000 feet.
Nothing about
1,000?
nothing about 2,000, 1,000, none of that. You need to have what in order to proceed visually? You have the required visibility, but what else you need to proceed visually? On the Airman Information Manual, what does it say? Basically, you need to have the airport in sight,
Right.
or the preceding aircraft in sight. So as long as you can follow an airplane into the airport visually, or you can follow visually to the airport where you can see the airport, you can get a visual approach. But you gotta have 3 mile visibility. So if it's a 2.5 mile visibility, can you get a visual approach?
No.
No, cannot. It's IFR, you don't have the required visibility. What about a contact approach? Can you get a contact approach if it's 2.5 mile vis?
No.
You sure about that?
A contact approach?
Contact, C-O-N-T-A-C-T, contact.
Contact approach.
Yep. Let me call Republic. What was it, Tango?
Tango.
Oh, you go ahead, go. Republic 757 Alpha Delta, 5 miles to the west. 5 miles to the east with Tango.
Yeah.
Public Tower, Cessna 757 Alpha Delta, 5 miles to the east, testing full stop.
You say Tango?
7 Alpha Delta, public tower into left base, runway 19er.
Left base, runway 19er, and we have information Tango for Cessna 757 Alpha Delta.
Okay, left base 19. I'm gonna make it work for you.
Okay.
Okay, 757 Alpha Delta, turn right hand 270.
270, 757 Alpha Delta.
Ezra. And back to contact approach. You can actually get a contact approach at 2.5 mile visibility.
Okay.
To get a contact approach, you need to have at least 1 mile visibility, and you have to be clear clouds. You must be on an IFR flight plan. You can't get a contact approach if you're VFR, okay?
Okay.
You gotta be on an instrument flight plan. You gotta be instrument rated, and the aircraft has to be certified for instrument flight. And another requirement for contact approach is for you to remain with contact with the ground. You gotta be able to see the ground. You gotta know where you're going. No?
Right.
And you can do an approach at 1 mile. 757 Alpha Delta, descend and maintain 1,000 for the radar approach.
Descend and maintain 1,000 for the radar approach.
Heading 270, affirmative. 270 radar approach and maintain 1,000. Very nice aircraft control, very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, you're going to do very well. You think it's flying that simulator all the time kind of keeps you sharp?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh boy, it's going to be bumpy.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely bumpy.
Back to the bumps, back to the potholes.
Yeehaw, ride 'em along in my automobile.
Yipper. You can go ahead and call left base 19. Okay.
Left base
Good Alpha Delta, runway 19er, cleared to land, wind
Okay.
23011, goes 23.
Alright, you got it.
Clear land, you can say. Clear land.
Clear to land, 757 Alpha Delta, runway 19.
757 Alpha Delta, turn left, heading 240. Radar approach. Maintain 1,000, 19er.
240, maintain 1,000, so established on the approach, 757 Alpha.
Now, if it gets too bumpy for you flying visual with the instruments and you get sick or whatever, just let me know.
That's okay.
When it gets bumpy under the foggles, sometimes pilots get a little nauseous or something. Seven Alpha Delta, heading 240, maintain 1,000.
240, 1,000.
Seven 7 Alpha Delta, left turn at 210, descent 800.
210, descend 800, 757 Alpha Delta. One zero 800.
Seven 57 Alpha Delta, right turn at 240, descent 600.
240, 600 for 57 Alpha Delta. 40, 600.
757 Alpha Delta, left turn 210, descent 500.
210, 500, 757 Alpha Delta.
757 Alpha Delta, the airport should be at 10 o'clock. Advise the airport in sight.
Yep, runway in sight for 757 Alpha Delta.
Okay, my controls.
Air control,
Foggles out.
toggles out.
Alright, we got the foggles. And when you're ready, you take the controls.
Alright,
and
my
land the
controls.
plane.
My controls.
Your controls. You're right on the glide path, right on the runway. Just a little bit on the bumpy side.
Yeah, very bumpy.
So use cautious. Ooh, that's going to be a fun ride.
Yeah.
Looks like crosswind from the right too.
Yeah. So I got winds coming from the right. Crosswind from the right.
Yep. The landing in the Hamptons was left crosswind. Now you got right crosswind. You're good though. Right on the glide path. Just a little fast. Let's throttle back. Slow that baby down. A little bit of nose up trim and throttle back. There you go. Clear to land 19.
Clear to land 19.
Now we're going to have right aileron, opposite left rudder. Beautiful. Hold it right there. Let it float. Bam! You know how to fly. That's it. Watch it. Right aileron and get on the brakes. Cut that shimmy. There you go. Beautiful. We're going to make a right on Alpha. And we're going to Atlantic when he calls, okay?
Okay.
Excellent job. Right
Turn
turn here.
Alpha Delta, taxi to Parker with Tower.
Right about Atlantic with tower, Alpha Delta?
Going Atlantic with tower for 757 Alpha Delta.
Alright.
Alright. Oh, that was a little challenging, that little landing.
The landing? You did good though. Not bad at all. Left up here, take us all the way to the ramp.
Alright. Yeah, flaps up was definitely necessary for that approach.
Not necessary, but you know what? I think when you have crosswind and you have gusty winds, you have more aircraft control. There's a lot of advantage with partial flaps or no flap. Number one, more aircraft control.
Right.
Your touchdown is faster. When the touchdown is faster, you have more control on the flare, the round out, you know, adjusting for the wind drift. You know, especially when it's a tailwheel equipped aircraft, you know, the faster you are, you got more control of the airplane. You know, directional control, you know. Another advantage, a go-around. What's easier to go around, with full flaps or with partial flaps or no flaps?
Partial flaps, no flaps.
Hey, why is that?
Better control on the go-around?
Yeah, you got all these flaps hanging in there, giving you drag. I mean, you get lift, but, you know, you're not just getting pure lift, you know?
Right.
Sometimes with 30, 40 degrees of flaps, you're getting more drag than lift. You want that drag on the go-around? Not good, right?
No.
So, I like to do, you know, crosswind landings, gusty landings with, you know, partial flaps or no flaps. This way, if I have to go around, man, I just like, as soon as you get that power up there, you feel like a helicopter. It's like, boom, 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 it just wants to go. Because you don't have all that drag. You have, you know, and you have extra speed, too. When you have extra speed, you're less likely to stall, or you're less likely to, you know, have a stall warning, or, you know, or be on the, you know, on the backside of the power curve. Sometimes you're on the backside of the power curve. You got so much power, so much pitch on the go-around, the airplane's not really climbing. You're like so slow, you know?
Right.
So take that into consideration, you know, in your career, you know. As long as you have sufficient runway, you know. If it's a short runway, you gotta watch out. You know, you want to have flaps on a short runway because, you know, you can touch down slower, stop slower. But here in Republic, what kind of runway length we're dealing with?
19.
Oh, it's like 6,000?
6,000,
Yeah,
yeah,
way up
6,000.
there. Yeah, so we got plenty of room.
Probably enough for a 7.3.
I see a 7.3 landing here once in a while. We got those charter flights in the weekends. Gonna make a right. And take it right back to the spot. Yeah, we don't need the TGAS anymore. Gonna wrap it up. What do you think? Self-critique.
I think I have a lot of potential to be, an excellent pilot.
Oh, you're good, man.
Good pilot's always learning.
No complaints. Excellent work today. Excellent.
And a rusty pilot's always wrestling the wind.
When was the last time you flown? Has it been?
February?
February. Okay,
Yes,
so
February.
a couple of months, not too bad. Couple of months is not too bad.
Oh, actually March. I think it was March, late March too. Martha's Vineyard. I did a Martha's Vineyard cross country.
Martha's Vineyard, man, that's my favorite summer spot.
Right over the Long Island Sound.
Man, these women in the summertime there. I don't know why they tend to just show off. It's a very, high class, vacation spot.
Yeah.
JFK used to go out there. A lot of these.
Hey, when he crashed, was he spatially disoriented?
I'm sure he had lack of instrument skills. I'm pretty sure.
Was he IFR rated?
No, only private. Yeah, only private. Yeah. He actually trained in. I saw him, personally. He actually trained in Vero Beach in flight safety back in the days, back in the 90s. I knew his instructor too. Benaway. His instructor was Benaway. He's with probably with the